Hi, today we're going to be working on the tall centerpiece. This one is the DIY tall centerpiece pack from 50flowers.com. They've sent us some beautiful bells of Ireland. They have sent us some beautiful stock. They've sent us some snapdragons, let's see what else we have here. Some beautiful larkspur and some lisianthus. So like I was saying previously, I went ahead and pulled my flowers on what I want to use. I also want to do some greenery because I do have one of their greenery DIY packs as well. You know, it's fabulous because you can do so much with greenery. But first I start by making a grid on here. So a grid allows you, you can actually do a grid in a couple different ways. If you can't see the container, you can do chicken wire. If you can see the container, you can do it with your greenery stems, but that typically will take a lot of practice. So this is a little cheat of just using clear tape across the base, and that way you don't have to use as many florals. And with it being clear, you can always, you know, it's really easy to hide, which is nice. So I just put 2 pieces one way, and I'll put 2 pieces the other way. This way too, the transportation is a lot easier, and you don't have to worry about it falling apart because the grid just kind of helps hold everything together. Ooh. Sorry. So I put 2 pieces of clear tape and 2 pieces of two pieces of clear tape going one way, 2 pieces of clear tape going another way. Then I'm also going to take it and go around. Now this is specifically designed for florists to use because it is waterproof. But the going around just kind of helps secure it down so you don't have to worry about it falling over or doing anything funky in the car. So then I'm going to pick out a couple stems of greenery. Remember to look professional. We don't want to put anything under, any greenery stems under the water line. My design style specifically is a little bit more garden. So I love flowy, I like movement to go into the arrangement. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I usually start with greenery first unless it is a really heavy floral design. And then I'll start with the flowers first. But again, we're gonna save all these little pieces. I've got things to do with it later, places for it to go. We're just kind of working the stems. I'm interlocking them so that whenever you're doing the transportation, it just kind of adds extra stability. And you don't have to worry about them falling out of the vase or doing anything funky. You know, this kind of goes back into the recipes. And if you're feeling like you're unsure of your recipes, then I would definitely get a box, try it out. You know, if you know you have family or friends coming over, then, you know, it's a good time to try different things out whenever you know you need flowers anyway. And then you can kind of do what we call a mock-up. It'll just ease the mind, if anything. Okay, so again, I'm just kind of removing all the floral greenery stems, the leaves below. Created my grid. So I want to make sure that it's full enough so that the flowers aren't just flopping around in it. Okay, so I feel like I have a pretty good floral base. If you have any pieces like this little guy, sometimes the new growth, you'll need to clip off because it doesn't make it in the transportation and processing and all that. Or, I mean, these come, you know, they're grown outside, so sometimes there might be a little bug bite. Just make sure you clip anything off that's not something that you want to see in the arrangement. So there's a couple of different ways that you can design this. I like to start with my height or my bulkier flowers first. And so I'm gonna go ahead and start with Bells of Ireland. This one, we wanna make sure that we keep as much length on him as possible, because then he gets to drink a lot of water. That way, if the water starts going down, they won't be out of water and die on you. So we're just gonna place him in there. Because of my grid, he's staying. I mean, he's not going anywhere. Same thing with this guy. You can see, and they have a natural shape, so creating that movement while I'm designing. So this is the shape that this Bells of Ireland is gonna stay, so we wanna make sure that we're working with him and not against him. So I've got this one going up, so I probably will come in at an angle. Again, keeping on the length, removing any foliage or blooms that are gonna be under the water level. And just making sure that we're keeping that movement of the arrangement going. So I pushed him down a little bit so that he wasn't at the same level as this other Bells of Ireland. And get creative, get artsy here. It doesn't have to be just like the picture that you found. Now, since this is going on a round table, we want to make sure that we're also filling in on the other side as well. So keep him really long. And I've got one more. So we're gonna come in and stagger as well. And then I'm gonna go with my larkspur. So this one's pretty straight up and down. There's not a whole lot of movement, but it does have delicate blooms on there. So kind of adds a little bit of daintiness. The nice thing is they have blooms all the way down, so you can keep these if you would like, and you can use them later. They're great. The little breaks are great, like I was saying, for flower crowns, boutonnieres, any detailing, if your photographer wants to keep them. They can use them to shoot with the invitations. All different kind of uses. And you could keep even like the most length on here and get really tall. The room has really tall ceilings. Again, that grid has helped keeping it up and straight. And I like to cluster. So a lot of my designs, you'll see that I cluster the florals in one area. What that does is that helps create a bigger impact. So I was saying the larkspur has all these little delicate blooms on them. Whenever you cluster it, it kind of just makes all the delicate blooms not so delicate. Okay. So I think I'm getting about where I want to be in fullness. Do one more. Bring him low on that side. And then we're gonna do some on this back side or the front. It's gonna be in the round, so. Again, and you can kind of see me measuring. So I see where I want the top of the bloom to go, and then I come down here and I cut it where I think it should be cut at that point. I do that just with about everything that I am needing to cut and put into a vase. Okay. So one thing I try to be very careful is that I don't overstuff an arrangement, because what happens at that point is if you're overstuffing, then you actually don't even really see the floral. It becomes more just like a blob. And we don't want that. Then you just end up wasting money and you don't really know, like your arrangement has no structure. So next I'm gonna go with my next line flower, which is going to be the snapdragons. Again, they're really tall. They have really pretty foliage. We're gonna measure him, cut it, and strip all the greens off. So we wanna make sure, again, to get rid of all of that foliage that's gonna be below the water line. I like snapdragons in bouquets as well, so it's a good complement if you're wanting to put some in a centerpiece as well as put them in a bouquet. So I'm gonna come around and put these in on the front side. And I'm cutting some of these ones down a little bit more. So very, very neutral color palette. We're gonna come in with some, let's save the Lizzie for towards the end. We're gonna come in with some white stock. This is a nice fragrant flower. The bells of Ireland are very fragrant as well, but the stock is a little bit softer in the scent. So again, clustering it so it makes a bigger impact. I usually like to design in odd numbers, which is, you know, your ones, your thirties, 5, 7. And since we've got the grid, it's gonna be really nice when having to move this because it's not gonna move around a lot. The flowers should stay where the flowers are at, which can be an issue if you've done all of this work and then you go to the venue and your flowers are just everywhere. So I love stock for bouquets as well. It's one of my favorites to work with. So I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna leave this. We're gonna put it maybe in another arrangement, a front entry piece or something like that. Then we're gonna go into the white Lizzie, which is stunning. It's very soft, delicate, and it's also got a lot of surface area, so it's a good bold bloom for being so delicate. Lizzie makes great for centerpieces, bouquets, boutonnieres. I even love the little buds on them. Sometimes, like if you're bringing in a lot of green, they have a different green texture on them. And all right, so again, all my stems are in water. Kind of look around, see if there's any holes, which I feel like right here needs a little something, and over on both these sides. So I'm gonna come back in with the rest of the stock that I put to the side and actually add a couple pieces. So maybe just one piece on each side. So it's not bare. And that is your tall centerpiece.